All right, welcome, everybody, to another episode of Till the Dirt. This is the Shahs of Sunset rewatch that I do here. I like to say consistently, but really it's been from time to time. I got a great guest here. It's Ann. This is my buddy Joe's wife. She actually, I think you did the first, no, you did the second, I think, episode that we've ever done of the rewatch. It's great to have you back, Ann. I appreciate it. Introduce yourself, say hi.
Hi, Ann Szutanyi. I know you can't say it, so
Yeah,
we'll
that's
pronounce
why I left it to
it.
you. That's why I left it to you. Uh,
I'm
Um,
used to it. Used to it.
but this is a long time coming. It's supposed we were supposed to do this rewatch feels like 3 weeks ago. But
Yes.
as everyone I think now knows, we are filming a show. We actually wrapped the show. So it's in the can, as they say. Now we can kind of hopefully get back on a regular schedule. But between the Mets being in town and filming, it was just very difficult over the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate you being patient with me in.
No
And
problem.
I actually know we have another dirty. I forget the name off the top of it, but she's been dying to do the reunion. I keep holding her off.
Oh,
But yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get back on a normal schedule. Um, this was a good episode. It was a fun
yes.
episode. This was fun, Shaz. We open up with Mike and Reza at working out. You know, and then it's kind of coming to the end of their partnership, which never really seemed like it
Yes.
materialized much anyway. Reza, I know what he said. That's the real. That's how it works. That you're supposed to get your mentor part of your deal. I mean, I don't know if you have to, if you're friends or whatever, but I'm just saying the fact that Mike doesn't know this already is really surprising to me. And
Yeah,
he seemed like this is the first time he was hearing it.
yeah. I mean, did he do anything at all for this? Like, other than get pictures taken?
That was
I
really it.
mean, it
That
seemed
was
like
it.
that was the only thing he did.
That seems like the only, because again, I put this more on Mike. Like Mike really seemed like, yeah, I thought that I'm supposed to get 15%. Like if you don't know what you're making and you've been doing it this long, like what do you even at the office, those videos that they showed where Mike was at the office and Rez was out working and they weren't communicating. What are you doing at the office?
Yeah.
Like I would figure that you'd be asking other agents, like, how's this work? Blah blah. I don't know, man. I thought that was very, very surprising that he
Yeah,
didn't even know how the payment structure worked yet.
I mean, he had no initiative at all whatsoever to try to bring in business. Like, you know, you should be out there pounding the pavement doing something.
I couldn't agree with you more. And again, even the fact that it seemed like he wanted a piece of Rez's deal without, it didn't seem like he did anything for it. That
Exactly.
was, that's not a good sign either because it's saying that you want to make money. Listen, a partnership's a partnership. If you make
Right.
money, I'm supposed to get paid, and if I make money, you're supposed to get paid. But if you're already asking for it and you really haven't done shit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not a good sign for future things, just in my
You're
opinion. I
exactly
think
right.
Reza kind of notices that too, and like he's
Yeah.
happy that Mike is like, let's cut. You know what I mean? I think Reza can already see that our friendship will become a problem
Exactly.
if we keep
It's hard to work with a friend in the first place.
a hundred
You
percent.
know? I mean, and to work on a lopsided type of
Yeah, and
situation.
and and let's be honest, and you're a smart lady. You know what I mean. If you're the weak link in a
Oh yeah,
partnership. You know what I mean.
exactly.
If it's even. You know what I'm saying? Like in a marriage, I feel like we're genuinely even as partners. When like. Oh, well, they know way more than me, or they have a lot more
Yeah.
money than me. You know when the scales aren't in your favor,
Yep.
and Reza could tell right now that this is going to be a problem down the road. I could see it. We're all going to fight about money, and he's not bringing enough to the table where it's worth it for me. I'd rather just sever it. And he said sever it, so I'm out.
Yeah.
Like there was no fight, no resistance. It was like, yeah, you're totally right. See you later.
I was trying to figure out like how long did they even supposedly work
I
together? I
think it
mean,
was the course of a season. You know what I mean?
no,
Like, well, I'm not
because
saying,
you would
well,
think that if he did something, they would show it if he did something. It
Yeah,
didn't look like Mike did
it did,
anything.
like you said, except the pictures. Like he did a
Exactly.
couple of photo shoots. You know, he like
Yeah.
I think he feels like that's enough sometimes.
Yeah.
But then we go
Well,
to MJ and my mother-in-law.
I
She
have to
truly
tell
is
you,
Darth Vida in
it's
this
this
scene.
this it was bittersweet. It was so nice to watch it now, knowing what
Yeah,
MJ's
she's got a
cancer held.
baby. She's
My heart
yes.
broke for her, and again, watching it again, my heart was breaking again
Oh, I'm
for
sure, man.
in that period of
Again,
like how
that's a tough. I think I've talked about it on the pod before, but one of my besties, my is my friend Jessica, and when I first found out that my wife was on Shahs, she's one of the first person I told because she was always into that shit. And the first thing she said to me was, "I think you guys are a great match, but her mother is very, very mean." And like this is what she's talking about. Like
oh
this
yeah,
is just yeah,
it's
it's her birthday. You know what I
I
mean? Like
you know what exactly
it's a
exactly, but
birthday. Now I will say one thing, and I need to maybe recant a little bit. It shows that when you just do one of these shows, it doesn't mean you know everything. And I kind of pass it off a little bit like I do. And then we just filmed this show, and a lot of it was different experience from the
really
last show that we filmed. And one of the things is now maybe it's because it's the first year, like they were very cheap. And I don't mean that in like in a bad way. I mean it that like my experience with the Shaws, they paid for everything. Like this fucking thing that Vita's did for her MJ, I guarantee you the show paid for.
yeah,
The show we just did, not the case. Like
really
you're gonna be paying for that, which is cool. That's real. That's
yeah
real,
yeah
real.
yeah
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, oh, you got this great idea. You want to here's the check. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah
like I said, it's just a lot more authentic in that case. So I can't say that all shows are like that because
yeah.
there's two it's two real different. But I'm fairly certain V didn't make the reservation, didn't set any of this up. So that's just more of why I think she's being mean. You know what I mean? It's not like she did this for MJ. The show did it, and now you're there, and she wants to look good on camera. She wants everything looks good. She doesn't want her, to like her motherhood or like any like she doesn't want to get raw. You know what I mean? She doesn't ever
Hmm.
really want to be vulnerable. So she just wants it to kind of be a fun experience. But obviously, they're not there just to have it be a fun experience. The show's paying, right? So they want
Yeah,
you to
exactly,
want you to have a conversation. And
exactly.
my wife, obviously, it's a if you've been watching the show so far, her
Mm.
coming to the realization in Turkey that she might want to have a baby, it's a
Yes,
pretty big
absolutely.
fucking deal.
Absolutely. Exactly. Because like she was trying to tell her mom, like, this is the first time I felt that way,
Yes.
and this is the first time in trying to explain what her feelings were. And Rita was just like discounting it, like saying, like,
You're like,
yeah, you
shut
know what?
up, shut up.
Yeah,
We're here just to have fun. We're here to have fun
exactly.
and just get our nails done. And like, you know what I mean? And it got, obviously, again, that's not what they're there for. They are there for
Exactly.
that, but also to have an adult conversation between mother and daughter. And she's just sweeping it on the rug. And you can
Exactly.
tell that this is a big deal for my wife. Like, my
Hmm.
wife doesn't,
Oh yeah.
has probably maybe had this conversation 5 times in her life prior to this with anybody. You know what I mean? And one of them was just probably with Asa. So like it's
Yeah.
not she's
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
not had this conversation and she's definitely not had it with Vita. And and I
You
wanted
would
to
think that
actually
she
go
would have
ahead.
just been, I'm sorry, if she would have just been
No, don't be sorry,
a
please.
little,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no, sorry, if she would have just been a little like
Tender.
understanding to her, exactly, tender, just to
Yeah.
little like a mother should be. Like
Yeah.
that's what MJ was like looking for was like a little compassion
That's
from her.
all she wanted. That's all she
Exactly.
wanted
That's
was a little, you know what, me? I didn't really want to be a mom. But if you do, I think you'd be great at it because you seem
yeah,
like you're real. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little that,
exactly.
maybe something. But instead, like I sympathize because I agree with what my wife said. Vita definitely did not want children, and I think that even more so, like she didn't want to have the child when she had the child, like that point in her life. Maybe at 35 is something we did, you know what I'm saying? But at that point in her life, I feel like she thought she could be anything, and then she had to be a mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Um, But I also think that she's been downloading that onto MJ since she's been born, that
Yeah,
you don't want to be a mother either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
that's
sucks.
true.
It sucks. You don't want to be it. You got to worry about them all the time. And then they don't measure up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be a mother either. And I think this is the first time that my wife was shook the cobwebs loose a little bit, was with the kid, and was like, wait a second. I don't want to listen to this crazy bitch. You know what I mean? I
Mhm,
love Vida. That's my
exactly.
mother-in-law. But I'm just saying, I don't want to listen to this nut. Maybe
Yes.
I do want to have someone. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I think that, like I said, you made the brilliant point. It's easier for me to watch it because she has the thing. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
exactly.
But in the moment, I
And
get when this was on, it would be tough for me to watch
it's
that as someone that loves her,
I
because like it's like that's fucked up, dude. You know what I
you
mean?
know,
Like, what are
I
you
was
doing?
looking at it two different points of view of knowing what the future held
Hmm.
and remembering back how she felt 12 years ago when this filmed and
And being a mom.
how it had to have felt.
Yeah, like you're a
It
mom too. You know what I
it's
mean? You're
hard.
gonna.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking thing. Like it's just terribly
Yeah,
sad.
that was again. I don't think because she's got the thing, so it wasn't that tough. Like watching it, this to me was a pretty happy episode,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
If she didn't have the thing, that would be
Then
a tough
you're
scene in
exactly
this
right.
episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But because
it's
she did,
positive.
it's like, yeah, well, take that, Vita. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, so,
yeah.
like, so, like, I'm happy for her, but in the scene, it's like that's tough because then again,
And
that's 6 years before that happened. You know what I
I
mean?
give her a lot of credit that she got up and walked out
For
instead of
sure,
letting herself still get beat up.
for
She took
sure,
herself out of the situation.
for
And
sure.
I mean, like, did Vita stay there and finish her treatment? Like, that's
Yeah,
what I'm wondering.
again, or just continue to talk like bad about her when she left.
Yeah,
To the
exactly.
other people in the room. She's so naive. She said like it's, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was. And then we go to Mike and Jessica,
Oh
um,
God.
and again, going off the same thing that you said. I know where they end up, right?
Yeah.
So does that skew my vision a little bit? Because when I watch them, they don't have any chemistry to me. She seems like she just wants to get married, and he seems like he's running from that as fast as he can. But because the cameras are there, he wants to look like a good guy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because she's delivered on everything that you would think
You're exactly right.
that he
You
would
know?
like. Any man. I don't care if it's him, Peter, Paul, Harry, or Bill. If she's done all the things that she's been doing,
Hmm.
you'd be lucky to marry her in your mind.
Exactly. Exactly. She has a professional job. I
Yeah,
mean,
she's
she's an attractive
attractive.
and attractive.
She's fucking
She's
converting religions.
converting is a huge
Huge,
thing.
huge, especially with
She learned,
Jews. To be a
learned, yeah,
Jew is a big deal,
yep.
dude. It's
She
not.
learned how to cook the
Yeah,
food.
yeah,
I mean,
but
adapting.
but at the same point in time, I totally get it from Mike's perspective because she just laid out all the things I've done.
Mhm.
That to me sounds like I could be anybody sitting in this chair. You're at a point in your life that you want to get married and you want to have babies, and here I am. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I know she's got a kid now, and it's not with the guy that was like they're not together. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I whatever. I just feel like it's tough to watch them because they're trying to present it to and
Yeah.
produce it like look at these like these lovers, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't see it, and I also know how it ends. So like when they're painting the picture, I just don't believe it.
Hmm.
You
No,
know?
and you're exactly right. I mean, you felt like she was pleading with him, like trying to. I think she was hoping that everybody would rally around her and try to tell
That
him,
too.
you need
That
to,
comes,
you need to.
and when has that ever worked as a
Oh God, yeah, because then he just feels more pressure and pressure and
and you
pressure,
could see it. You could see
you
it
know.
on him,
And
like you.
and the thing is she didn't care what size the ring would be, but
Yeah.
he's using the excuse of he can't afford the ring that he wants to get as an excuse. Like I think that was in a previous episode of where
Yes.
the
Yes.
ring. was too expensive.
Yes.
He's like, oh, well,
The
I
one
can't do
she
that. So
deserved, the one she deserved
exactly,
that he wants to give her was way too much money. And then she doesn't care about, she just wants,
exactly.
but that's also a red flag to me too, because I'm not saying like some people would hear that and say, "Oh, she's a good girl. She doesn't even care about the ring." But to me, it's
Yeah,
like she still doesn't shut the fuck up about the ring. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I don't know. I that's a red flag. Like my wife was the opposite, complete. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the girl that after a few dates is like, I'm not saying you can't talk about future. I don't know. It's just tough. Like she would scare me, is all I'm saying. Like if I was in Mike, she would scare me because does she love me or does she love the idea of being married and
the
have a
idea of
baby?
being married.
You know what
Yep,
I mean? And
a
listen,
means to
she's
an end.
converting, she's doing all the things. So she's showing me yes, but in the same scale, it's also, I don't know, it's just it's like a bad instinct I have that I don't does she really I still don't know if it's about me or about the
Yeah,
what you're supposed to want as a girl
exactly.
growing
Like
up.
it wasn't a match either on either side really, because
Yeah.
you would think that because you know how you are when you met your wife to be, like you wanted to move forward and you wanted to
Yes.
adapt and compromise, and might not be exactly what you want at this time, but you're going to talk about it and figure it out. He wouldn't, he was talking 5 years, the 5 year plan.
Yeah,
Like,
and again, you know who's sitting across the table from you. You knows that she's not gonna be like, oh yeah, cool. That sounds cool.
yes,
5 years, let's go. You're worth it.
exactly,
You know
exactly.
what I
And,
mean?
and yeah, because she kept telling him, like, at
Yeah,
your age,
yeah.
we need to get this
Yeah.
going.
Which listen, I get that. I understand that a little bit too. You don't want to, I had my kid at 40 and it's not the same as having him at
No,
25, dude.
no,
It's like,
I hear you. We were 38 when we had ours,
yeah,
and
man, that kid
in an
runs fast. He
older
got a lot
parent,
of things he want to do.
you
I,
know.
so I'll go down on the floor at night because it will help my back for a few minutes. I'll lie on the floor. And since he's been a baby, he's come and fallen on me, which is now it's like having fucking a refrigerator dumped on me, dude. I'm like, yo, get off of me. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't get it.
Exactly.
I'm like, yo, bro, I think you just broke a rib. Get off of me, kid. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it
definitely a young man's game, but at the same
is.
point in time, Mike's also real vain. That's not the thing you want to be telling him. He definitely doesn't feel like he's old, and if you keep saying you're old,
Oh
he's
yeah,
gonna go
yeah.
look for a younger girl, dude.
Yep,
That's
you're
gonna tell him
exactly
how
right.
great
Because
he is
he's so
because he didn't
vain.
validated like that.
He's so vain. Every time he comes on the screen, his teeth blind you. You
Yeah,
know, because that's like the
that's
thing that
because
stands out.
like there's good things and there's bad things that have brothers being dentists. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like he definitely goes way too much.
yeah. I
Way
like the
too
one
much.
episode in the past when he went in there and he's like, "No, I'm not doing them again. I'm not doing
Yeah,
them
yeah,
again."
exactly. Because way too
Like,
much. It
like
should
too much.
shine like mirrors.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
and then we
Yeah.
go to Gigi and MJ. And I never knew, like, because when MJ, when Gigi got pregnant, was right around when my wife got pregnant. Didn't know that she had any desire or any inkling to get pregnant prior to her getting pregnant. So this was surprising to me. I didn't like
Oh, really?
I know my wife had went to see the Dr. Gadir because he was our doctor too, the
I
same
still can't
guy.
believe that was her classmate. Like how
Now
crazy.
he's the best. Like literally, he like this is who Jay-Z and Beyonce went to. Like
Oh,
this is
wow,
he's the
really?
best now in
Okay.
Los Angeles. So he wasn't that then. But now he's like the go-to guy. Like I don't even know how much he helps people. But he does a lot of speaking, a lot of he's the best.
Oh, that's
But yeah, I knew they knew each other and they had done something like this prior when we went, but I didn't
yeah.
realize it was a Gigi thing. I thought of my,
Okay. Okay.
I thought Asa had came with my wife and they went like I thought that, but I never knew Gigi wanted this, so this was surprising to me.
Okay.
But she was smart to do it. Look,
Yeah,
she got a kid now. You know what I mean?
you're exactly right. I mean, like it's technology, it's science, it's available. I
Yeah.
mean,
And for women, there's nothing, if you
you're
could afford it, you'd rather
you're
have the
exactly right.
option than to not have the option. Because
Yep.
if you're a woman I can't speak because I'm not a woman. You probably could tell better, but I feel like if you're a woman and you wanted a baby and your whole life you don't have a baby, I feel like
Hmm.
that's a void that can't. Some women are fine with not having kids, in fact,
Yeah.
choose not to. And that's different. I'm talking about someone
Hmm.
that really wanted one
That's
and never
exactly.
had one. I feel like that's a void that can never be filled.
I absolutely,
You know, you
absolutely.
could be the best aunt. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You could
But
be,
it's not
but
the same.
it's not the same, especially if you could have, 30 cats and they're all your best friends and have 10 dogs and they all love you. I get it. But if you
Right.
really, really want the, I only know because I never wanted it. And now that I have it, I couldn't imagine
You
living
can't
without it. You know
exactly,
what I mean? So,
exactly.
like, if you really always wanted it and you never had it, I can't think that anything would fill it. So I respect the fact that she's doing this, and I hope that for women out there, at least
You're
fuck it. I don't need the guy, dude.
absolutely.
We're in a day and age,
Yep.
and if I really want this, and then
Yep.
maybe I
You're
have it because that's the thing. She could. It's way easier as a man, you know, if I started to date Gigi and she had a baby through in vitro with the sperm
mhm.
donor, I could jump way on board with that than if I found out she had a baby daddy. And then
Yes,
the baby daddy's a pain in the
absolutely.
ass. And you know what
Yep.
I mean? Like as a
It's less
man, you
it's
don't
less
really want to
baggage.
raise other people's kids, but there are
Exactly.
tons of men out there that do it. I
It's like
respect
less
the hell out of
baggage that
them.
you're bringing into a relationship. You have a
Yeah, I
child, but you
respect
don't.
those men, but it's still not an easy thing to do. But I think this would be easier to do. But
I agree completely.
yeah, so I
Absolutely.
thought there was a good again, Shahs, they tackle some topics that you don't really get a lot on
No,
reality
you're
TV, you know? This is
that's
this is a big deal.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, just showing, and then how it swayed. I liked how MJ like left and then she came back in to talk to him about it, saying like, you know what, maybe this is something I should think about doing,
Yeah, because
I mean,
she's there.
yep,
She's there. She's already like, because that's how my wife is too. She's a lot like me in that regard. You'll poo poo it and keep poo pooing it and convince yourself to poo poo it. But then if you really took a few minutes and it's like, wait a second, is it really that bad? I know I led with my arm out, my defense,
right.
but maybe I should like really think about this. And I do know this guy. I did go to school with him. It's like it's not some stranger,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
somebody.
and I'm happy she did it. And and then it's hilarious because she's sitting there talking about waiting for Mr. Right, and it's like I'm Mr. Right. She got fucked. Like I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad. She's talking to the doctor, and they're both like, "Yeah, it doesn't mean he's out there." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe he is," and it's me. That's hilarious.
And how many years was it
That's
until
hilarious.
how many years later did
This
you
I
meet?
think is because they said a year on the show in this episode. They said 2015 was like, but that was like down the road. And then Mike said, I'll be when they were trying to put the gun to his head, he said, I'll be engaged by 2014. And they were like, well, that's just a few months.
Yes,
And he's
exactly.
like, well, then 2015, so it's 2013, but end up. And then she and I got together. Or no, maybe even 2012, because she and I got together in 2013. No, 2014. I'm sorry,
Okay.
because it's 10 years. So
Okay.
2014 we got together. So this is a few months later. She fucking got
See, look at that.
Mr. Right. Oh my God, that poor girl.
See?
I'm sorry, babe. Mr. Right.
Well, you turned out to be Mr.
That's
Right,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't,
That's
don't
totally,
discount that. Like that's a big deal.
totally.
You meet somebody like they say when you least expect it. I mean,
Yes, yes.
that's the way things
And your
happen.
heart got to be open for it too,
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Palm Springs is
Oh,
then we go to Palm Springs, and the rest of the episode is pretty fun. So, like Mike is on the spot. You're right; they're
oh,
all teaming up now on him,
yeah.
um, which
It's
is a bad precedent because, like I said, I never met Jessica. We filmed a
okay.
season together, or we were on the same season together. That was the season that she caught him cheating, and they broke up. So I never actually met her.
Okay.
Um, but I know, and Mike now knows too. Just from doing this, that every scene. now whether it's with her or whether it's with Reza or whether it's with my wife is going to be, so what's up with Jessica? When you getting
Yeah,
married? You know what I mean? So
yeah, you're absolutely
yeah,
right.
so like he's got it
It's
rough, man, but it's also his fault too because he keeps leading it on. You know what I mean? Like you got to
yeah,
shit to get off the pot, bro. You
you're
know?
you're exactly right. I mean, his parents accepted her, and he, didn't think that was going to happen in the beginning because of different culture and
Yeah.
background and religion.
And again, I
You
think I've mentioned this before. Like going into that, I was always under the assumption that Mike's mom didn't like Jessica, and that was a road that she really had to get over, which wasn't the case. The mom liked Jessica pretty early
Yeah,
on,
you're
and I
exactly
think
right.
Mike was hoping that she wouldn't. I think Mike was hoping that she would put up more of a, yeah, she's not Iranian, you know what I mean, or like more of a
Mhm.
fight. She's not Jewish, and Mike, like the mom was like, "Yeah, no, she's great." Like, so,
Yeah,
I
it kind of backfired on him
yeah, I think the whole
because
time he's been looking for someone to be like, "Well, hold on, do you know if this is the right girl for you?" You know what I mean? And everybody keeps telling him she's great, and it's like, oh shit, I got to get married, but you could tell he doesn't want to.
no,
Like
so
you
I
could
mean that's
tell
why he ended up sabotaging it himself in the future, I think.
for
It's like
sure,
'cause
for
he knew
sure.
it wasn't going to be the right thing to do. I mean, like it's
And I still know just again that things like you filter through the years. I know something went down or was accused to have go down in Turkey between Mike and Gigi,
that's yeah,
and
but
that hasn't
Gigi,
happened yet.
yep, Gigi did reference something about it.
Did she?
She did say something about,
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
when she threw the
and
plate,
yeah.
I think she was about to say, like, I was
But
waiting
I
for it.
remember she did say something about like he was trying to F her or whatever in Turkey.
No, but that
And
she hasn't said that on the show yet.
so then that was okay.
That's
That was for
coming.
the
That's so
future.
I was waiting for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I thought that
Okay.
was going to be in this episode because Turkey just
Oh, okay.
happened. So like when she was getting in her feelings about Mike and the door, and she wasn't there, and why are you picking on me? And she threw the plate. I thought she was going to be like, "You trying to fuck me in Turkey," but she didn't. So I know that's still coming.
Okay.
So yeah, there's drama still to come. Don't worry, folks. Um,
It's like there's always was a flirtation going on between the two of them.
But one of the things, and again, especially after just filming this show, one of the things that really stands out to me is 90% of this shit that they did on this show wouldn't even be allowed anymore, dude. Like when they
Uh,
go, yeah, when they go into his room and he's
they're,
naked, or they take my wife's top off, like shit
oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They wouldn't be allowed, bro. Like they'd be like, yo,
No,
dude, don't stop, like
you're absolutely
yeah,
right.
there's a lot of shit that is just in this episode alone that, like, I know, not even at the producer, like, they wouldn't be allowed to do it. They'd be like, yo, man, you gotta stop that, you gotta shut that down. Are you okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah. You know what? You're exactly right because times have changed so much in
so
the past 10 years.
totally, dude,
Yeah.
totally. And the Shahs were like on another level
Oh God.
in there. That's why they were popular, right? It was like, these
Yeah,
guys
because
are
when they
crazy.
partied, there was no limits when they
Yeah,
partied.
it's like these
And
guys are crazy. That's why they were on TV for 10 years. But they also have not been on for the last five. And in the last five, because of what happened with Vanderpump and fucking, then Bethany came out and
yes,
said,
yep,
like, they've had a lot of changes.
you're
And like,
exactly
there's
right.
shit that, like I said, there's shit that went on in this episode that I'm telling you would not be able to go down on reality TV as the way it is currently.
Oh yeah, yeah, because nobody wants to have charges brought up on them for anything.
Yeah, and not just
That's the
that.
way.
People don't want to get canceled. People don't want to get fired. You know what I
That's the
mean? Like, so
biggest word
people
right
were
there.
tentative. It's not even a matter, like, people would just be like a lot more cautious to do things that these guys were just having fun doing. They didn't
No,
even think about it. It wasn't even a thought. Like, now it'd be something that you'd have to think about.
you're totally right. You're totally right. It would have got stopped and it would have got cut, and they would
Yeah,
go a
man. The
different
episodes
direction.
would be 8 minutes long. you know?
It's like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, but you're absolutely right because let me tell you, once the drinking would start, holy crap!
Yeah, man.
Like
They get
that.
crazy. They get crazy.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
Reza talks
absolutely.
about that the next day, that these guys really, my crew, because they do. My wife could drink like a man. You know what I mean? These guys, they all could kind of drink. So, like, that's another thing. Like, with the, and again, it's differences with production that I was wrong. Because I also don't forget that I was there when they filmed Jamie and Lamar, or Chloe and
Right.
Lamar, I should say. And Jamie was like, I was there for a lot of that as a outside witness.
Hmm.
And a lot of what they did is the same thing that was done with Shahs. What we just did was very different from the clean, like um, a well-oiled machine. Like they knew, like it was. I would tell my wife, these guys are fucking experts. This shit, you know what I mean? Like they knew exactly what they were doing, and by that I mean like that scene when they get drunk or whatever, you could tell the cameras are there the whole fucking day, where what we just went through, like they have a time, like let's get this thing done and then we're
Hmm.
done, where the other way, like it would be very annoying because it could drag on fucking all
Oh
day,
yeah,
dude. Like
because
where you're filming for
exactly.
6 7 hours because they're trying to get 10 minutes of footage. You know what I mean? Like what are we
Because it
doing?
showed them filming when they pulled up to the place, and then it showed them filming into the night.
Yeah,
So,
not just
like
at night, that's
noticed,
late night. And then they're there in
yeah,
the morning,
they
like
were
so
there the
like
entire day.
yeah, no, but it's like that was a lot. And so I know that they're drinking the whole day, dude.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? They're drinking the whole day because they get there. What's the first thing they get? The
Yeah.
glass of champagne. You don't just
Yep.
say, okay, I'm good now. You like that this
Yeah. No.
punch. So they're drinking all fucking day into the night. And they deliver, dude. Like, and then they're up the next morning, ready to iron it out, which was commendable. My
Yeah.
wife looked dynamite in her
Oh,
bathing suit. She looked great.
absolutely.
I still then they gave her own little talking head where she about the age, which is
I
hilarious.
have to tell you, I was like sitting there going like, wait a minute, how old is she really? Because I'm like, wait a minute. She talks about going to high school with Reza. If Reza's turning 40, how is MJ 38? They didn't, she said that they went to school together. So I'm thinking they're in the same grade. So I literally had to Google it to look up to see how old
Yeah,
really
don't
was
believe that either,
MJ.
dude. Don't believe when you Google either, bro. Those records are sealed,
Yeah,
bro.
this is
She
true.
don't fucking like
Yeah.
I still am not a 99% sure because I've seen things with different birthdays on them. I'm talking
Oh my God.
like legal documents with different birthdays.
Oh my
Plus,
God, that's
try to ask
crazy.
Vida, bro. Forget Vida, you're not getting a straight. Would you care? It's not your business. You know what I mean? Like there's no Shams thinks she's 19. Like he literally thinks she's 19. You try to argue with them and he doesn't understand math and like yeah, like calendars.
Oh,
He
that's
knows what she
funny.
tells him, and she says I'm 19, and he
Oh
believes
my
it.
God.
So,
That's
um,
funny.
yeah,
But the little piece that she did towards the end, she was saying 38, 39, 38 and a half, but there was one point that she did say she was 40.
yeah. She said could
And
be 40-ish.
and I was like, wait a minute, did that just slip through?
Yeah,
And
no,
then I
no,
was like, okay. So I was like,
it's
I don't know. But you know
she.
what? It's a
Yeah,
woman's
man.
prerogative. She
It's
can
funny too
keep it a
because,
mystery.
but it's funny too. My mom was like that. My mom would never give you a straight answer on her birthday,
No,
like to the point that I I still have to do math and count from like when she died because I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I gotta
yeah.
like
My,
otherwise.
my my
Yeah.
mom used to always do say she was 39 because she said that was the Jack Benny thing. Like Jack
Yeah,
Benny said 39. My
it's not
mother
your
always
like
said
Vita gets
39.
offended if you ask. You know what I mean? It's not your business. You're not supposed to ask that question. You know, like she gets fucking mad, dude. You know?
Oh,
Oh, how's this? How's this? So I had to set something up for her for online banking because she was going to be getting a check or whatever. And anytime her birthday came up, she would take the phone from me and put it in because she wouldn't tell me.
oh my
Like
God.
that's the level of crazy we're talking.
Oh
So
my
I still don't
God.
know how old that lady is.
That's
But
crazy.
and then they see the slip and slide, and it's funny. My wife, I did the slip and slide last year in front of the house, and
Oh,
she
really?
wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it. Shams wouldn't do it. And I fucking think I literally broke a rib that day. She's
Oh
got
my,
and I didn't know about the secret with the baby oil, dude. I was just using
oh,
water, and it literally felt like talk about being too old. I felt like I
oh,
got hit by a bus for like
uh,
3 days, man.
I hear you.
Yeah, man. Um,
Oh my
then we
God.
go to Reza and Adam. And you could tell everyone's very, very surprised. Like I'll say, because someone in production knows that too, dude. Like Reza, they know. You know what I
That's
mean?
yes.
And to
It's
everybody stay quiet. I commend them because it was like that with me too. When I proposed, the only one who knew was um the executive producer, and then like an intern that they sent to actually pick up. Like I had gotten the ring and but they had it ready and whatnot,
okay.
like to come pick it up. He went and picked it up and delivered it. Those were the only two people that knew.
Well, then
And
that's
Reza, right before it happened, because I was so fucking nervous and I had to like tell someone. He was sitting next to me. I had to like, yo, this is what I'm
yeah.
gonna do right now. Woo! So, um, but no one knew. And the same thing with Reza. You could tell, you could see in their faces. Like I feel
So
like I'm good at
you
that.
saw the genuine shock.
Yeah, you
The
could
only
see.
person that didn't seem like it looked like Mike because they kept flashing at him.
Oh,
And he was like he looked like he was annoyed a bit because he
totally.
was like going, you
Yeah,
know what?
because he was got pressed on it this morning. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You kidding
Yeah.
me? Like, you know what? Now she's gonna want it more. I bet
Oh,
you
fuck
did.
the whole car ride home. I'm going to hear about that. And he did it on his birthday
Yeah,
because it was
because
a gift to him. You know what I mean? Like, Mike's
yeah,
got to be
because
like, you
every
motherfucker.
time they flashed at him, he just looked angrier and
Yes,
angrier and angrier.
yes, yes,
And I was
yes,
like, going like,
yes,
he finally
yes,
got up and congratulated
yes.
him, but it was a lot of
Yeah,
anger.
like you
Yeah,
could tell he wasn't angry at Rez and Adam getting married. It was the fact
yeah,
that Rez and Adam are getting married and that she's going to want me to fucking get married. You
exactly.
know?
He's gonna say like, look, see, they're
Oh,
doing
100%. Like I said, the whole car ride home, I'm sure that's what it was. But everyone
it.
else, you can see the genuine shock and
Ab-
surprise, and they're all
you're
very happy
absolutely
for
right.
them. And yeah, man, it's cool. Listen, they like a lot of people have gotten married in the time since Rez and Adam have gotten married that are no longer together. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
they've been together a long time. They make it work. They seem real happy. So good for
you know
them,
what?
you know?
That's
And
exactly.
then we go to Lily, who I
Oh
forgot
my
was even in
God.
the fucking
Oh my
show.
God.
I forgot she was
It
even in
was.
the show.
I
What
was
are we
like,
doing?
what was the whole purpose of it? To just say like,
I think to
Sunday
put the
night,
bow
you
on it.
done?
I think to put the bow on it that this is kind of going to be curtains for you, Lily. You're not going, but I'm surprised because the last time we saw her was the same thing. It was kind of her being defiant that I don't care about these people, fuck all these people. You know what I mean? Whatever,
Yep.
I'll be happy, and I respected that a little because she wasn't filming anymore, and it seemed like I'm good with it. But then this scene, she groveled. She
Yes,
was like,
exactly.
"Yeah, I think should
Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I
yeah,
should have done that.
I don't like
I
that I'm
guess she,
strong-willed like that." Yeah.
the whole thing was coming down to the realization, I think, with her is I'm not going to have these cameras fawning all over me anymore.
And as I like to
Mhm.
say, at least
That's
once an episode, somebody says something that I do this with that is so profound and poignant. And that's exactly what the
that
fuck it is.
she likes the
She knows that
attention.
she's gonna get her walking papers,
Yep,
right? Like you've been this way this whole season. I'm glad you're proud and all that, but next year we're filming another year and you're not gonna be here. How do you want to wrap that up? You know? And
yep,
I think I don't think they told her yet, but I think she kind of knows that she didn't do her job this
yep,
year. And
exactly.
I think she kind of senses that she wishes she did her job because they're probably not
Exactly.
going to ask me to come
Yeah,
back.
because she's an attention seeker. She loved those cameras following
For
her.
sure. And listen, to her credit, she looked at even from the business aspect of it. You got to stay on TV if you're looking, if I'm only here for the business, then you got to stay on TV for the
Yes,
business. You know what I mean?
exactly.
It will help. Like, look at Asa, and this is no disrespect to Asa. She shut down her Venice store. She does it all online now. I'm sure they still do real well. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying without the cameras, there's no
Yes,
reason to have that business. You know what I mean? Because then they're like, what am I paying the rent for if I could just do it online?
yep,
No one's
you're
coming to me.
exactly right.
They're like people like I'm sure there was a time where people were flying to LA and doing the Bravo tour, going to the Vanderpump restaurant or
Yes,
this place or that place and going by her store. But they
yep,
haven't been on and she hasn't been on for a long time now. So I'm sure, people stop coming. And the same thing with Lily. I'm sure that, she could have used like she's done real well for herself. So I guess maybe not. But there is an element where in that moment you could tell that she wishes that she had you know,
the
been less stubborn.
realization. Yep, the realization hits her like this is really
Probably
going
it
to
for
come to
me.
an end.
Yep, it's probably it
Nobody
for me. Yep.
Nobody's
No,
gonna nobody's gonna know my name anymore. I'm gonna fade away, and you know,
and
they're
not
not
just
gonna
that.
remember me.
I had it. I had it. I had this golden opportunity.
Exactly.
And because I was stubborn, because I was, whatever, you know what I mean? Like you're on reality TV. They had a fucking fight in a restaurant. That's basically what she's still talking about the scene where my wife and her fight in the restaurant, which I don't even remember if it was this season or not. You know what I mean? It feels like that was like episode 1 or 2 of the
Yeah, yeah.
year. And if you can't get past that, then you really can't be on reality television. You know what I mean?
No, you got to move on to the next thing.
It's one of the things with me. I get like that. I'm not like these. I'm not built for it because it's very difficult for me to get past shit. If I feel like that I'm, you know, if I'm still angry and I feel like you haven't been accountable or like there hasn't been some measurement of, equality, then it's gonna be real tough for me just to, like I'm sure she was like, make MJ apologize, and they were like, we can't make her do shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And she was like, well, I'm
exactly.
not coming. All right, then don't, whatever. And now
Yeah,
you're not doing any more TV. So, but yeah, I don't even know why. I guess, like you said, they just kind of had to put a bow on it.
yep.
But I would have put that bow on earlier in the episode. It would have
Yes.
made more sense because it didn't matter
Yep.
when you did it.
No,
You know
exactly,
what I
because
mean?
like she's not there anymore. Like we already thought she was done the episode
Yeah,
before.
but they
Like,
did it like in the middle of the Palm Springs
yeah,
going ons. You know what I
and it
mean?
was like going
Like there's
like
a lot of ton of action, and then this must mean because I'm watching it on the app, right? So I'm watching it when you could tell when they cut to the commercial and when they come back, except there's no
yes,
commercials, right? But like in the middle of the goings on, like, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in Palm Springs. They come back from a commercial and it's Lily like fucking brushing her teeth. What are we doing here? And then she leaves. So it's like boring. I guess that
that's
now like now I'm saying it, that might be why. So that you don't miss her because she was boring in and she's boring out. And I think at this point they know she's not coming back. So
mhm.
they almost got to make her look like, we'll get someone better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, you're exactly right.
I love Yan. I wish my wife agreed with me as much as you did. You're exactly right. Fuck, I think I
Oh,
might
but
have heard that 2 times, and since I know her, and that might have been when I spelt her name. You know what I mean? Like, yes, you're exactly right. But no, it was great, great, great to do this
mm,
with you. It was a long time coming. I appreciate your
oh,
patience.
no, no problem,
I
no
love you,
problem.
kid. I love you, Toots. You guys are the
So nice
best.
to
Give Joe
see
my
you
love.
again.
Give him a
I
hug for
definitely
me.
will.
And
We love doing these.
next
You
year
know,
or next
we
season, we'll have
yes.
you back to do another one.
Yep, we love doing these things, and as you said, like Joe's he's available at any time.
Oh,
But
that's Joe.
I
That's Joe Bravo too. No offense
oh
to you,
God,
but it's
let
me
me
too.
tell you,
He knows more about all this shit than both of us
it's
combined. So I
it's
get it.
quite funny. He does. He knows the
Yeah,
station
no, I
better
get
than
it.
I do.
And the last time he was going to do it at the VFW, but he was worried the
Yes,
boys were going to find out. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. But I appreciate you, and I love you
no
guys, and
problem. No, no
all the
problem,
best.
Ken.
Okay.
All the best to MJ and Shams.
All
Take
right.
care.
Five's up.
Bye bye.